We have Buddy with us. We have John with us. We have Mikey with us. We have Aaron with us. We have Bill with us. And we have Mr. J. Brannon with us as well. Welcome, guys.
I'm drinking Windex.
Windex. All right.
Try this at home, kids.
I thought that might be that blue Gatorade. Gatorade, yeah.
No.
Yeah, go with that.
Does it have alcohol in it now?
No.
If you add it,
you're out.
Okay.
Doesn't everything?
All right. Hey, first question, obvious question. How was your holiday?
Great. Even though I was in pain, but I was great.
Wonderful.
Outstanding.
Maybe we should tell the audience we're shooting this the day after
We're
Christmas,
shooting this day after Christmas. Yes.
2021. So that when you see it, you'll have perspective.
2022.
Funnier at 2021, though. Just, again, when it showed up on air in a week, and then they thought, oh my gosh, this is over a year old. They just put it up.
Also known as Boxing Day in the Great White North.
It is. Yes. That's why you can't reach any of our Canadian friends.
Yeah. Take off your hosers.
They're watching 007 and opening a
fighting
gift.
the shoppers for the best deals of the year.
Yeah.
The way that I heard it over in England originally, Boxing Day was the day for the servants to have their party, and the owners of the house would switch roles and be the servants, make the meal for them, and so forth and so on. I don't know why they called it Boxing Day, but
I have the fights that ensued.
Yeah,
they box up the stuff they didn't want and give it to the peasants.
I have a tough time believing that people that had servants one day a year said, "Here, I'll cook for you." I heard it was the day they opened those boxes of tea. No, I haven't forgotten.
Or boxes of wine.
Mr. Boston Tea Party here.
I still smells like tea on a hot summer day.
It really does. You can drink out of Boston Harbor.
And molasses. We got that too. The big molasses accident.
You had to.
Oh, yeah. That was a tragic.
So
run at a brisk pace. Anyway, sorry about that.
Okay, I'll go on to, I'm glad everybody had a good holiday. And I'm glad you're doing well, Mikey.
Thank you.
A little worried about you there for a while. But question number 2 is, okay, this is after New Year's. Pretty much most people, it's their time off until maybe March or April. So what do you do after the New Year to generate either leads or, well, Jay's case, he's in Southern California where it's sunny all the time, but for people in the Great White North, or even it feels like the Great White North here.
Yeah.
What do you do to generate leads for the upcoming season? Who wants to go first? Go ahead, buddy.
Well, first and first, I gotta say, I got a big block of chocolate for Christmas. But
that'll last 5 seconds.
Share that with the class, but
oh, you almost killed Jay with that one. Wow.
Howie, don't edit yourself there, kid.
That's the fun size. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 1 pound. But the big thing, what we do at this time is a lot of wedding shows. This is what a lot of wedding show season, at least here in the Chicagoland area.
Good point.
There's a bunch in February, a bunch in January, a bunch in March. This is when we start lining up those shows and start getting in leads that way. And it's really a big driver. And you got to remember, high engagement season still goes on until February 14th, Valentine's Day. So you still have a lot of people getting engaged between, New Year's and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Valentine's Day. So this is still high engagement season. So we're prepared for the incoming phone calls, because you'll get phone calls probably a week or 2 after New Year's. But the big thing is to get out there and get in front of people are those shows, because a lot of those shows are people who have not been anywhere, and you want to line those shows up. Usually we try and line those shows up basically August, September. and sign up for them then. And that way we know January, February, March, where we're doing and where we're putting our money at and how much the shows cost, because the shows vary. And if you do the same show over and over again, you kind of know how many people you get. But some of the shows we try other ones and see what happens. And you want to be prepared for that, either good or bad.
Right. All right. Who's up next?
I think since we're also coming out of holiday party season, and holiday parties are becoming more prevalent again, getting away from COVID, it's worth pointing out that is an excellent time to rebook the next holiday party for the company, especially if you actually did a good job. Because, for example, the party I just did was really their 2020 party, which they booked in the first week of February of 2020, coming out of their 2019 party and wanting to make sure they had me still reserved. The same company also at that time said, we'll probably get with you about booking a company picnic or two or some other summer event as well. So that's another opportune time. I'm with Buddy also. I think bridal shows are going to make a comeback this year. I do a few smaller ones at venues that I actually want to, work at on a, more common basis than others. I don't do really big bridal shows because I am just a solo op. And even though I can book a couple other DJs, I'd rather not spend that money on that event where I'm going up against 19 other DJ companies. I'd rather, do the smaller shows where there's only 3 or 4 or maybe at the most 5 other DJs and be that way.
Who wants to go next?
I take a good look at the social networks, and I watch what my friends are doing, see who's getting engaged. Try to reach out personally and just say, hey, look, you got engaged. Congratulations. I saw the photos. You guys look great. I'd love it if you'd consider me to DJ your party this year. Let me know when you're getting married, blah, blah, blah. And I reach out that way and just wish them congratulations and say, hey, keep me in mind for the party. I'd love to do it.
You did that perfectly because I read this many years ago, and I always do that. You lead with a compliment and then ask for their business. That was perfect, Darren. Perfect.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
A buddy of mine, he's a photographer, and we put a special package together. A couple wants to book both of us for the wedding. Then we cut them a break on it. So if they just book him, he has a rate for that. If they just book me, I have my own rate. But I'm already booked. I have 14 weddings booked already for this coming year. Bunch of school events coming up already in February. So I'm just waiting for my back to heal up so I could get back on moving again,
Right.
But working with the photographer is a great thing. He has a lot of contacts. I have a lot of contacts. And like Aaron said, we would compliment that they just got engaged. And, hey, we got a photographer. I work with a florist, and everything works out great for all of us then.
Very good. All right. We got two left standing or sitting.
Me and Jay's in a dramatic pause. I guess I'll go. I got I'm kind of in the works with 2 different multi-ops. I know that excuse me. There's 2 different bridal shows. There's one in Burlington and one in Wilmington. I think one of them is going to each. And now that they've got an extra body in the stable, so to speak, they can double book. They know they can take that job that they would have had to turn away. That's it's marketing at its best. I'll attend with both of them. I know those are pricey. The shows out here are not cheap to go to, but it's the return on investment. If you go for the one and you meet 30, 40 couples and you book 20, 25 gigs, well, that's your year. I mean, that's up here in the Northeast. We're working against the seasons. It's a very limited window where you can do stuff outside. Hoping to lock up a few gigs and. In the meantime, until those happen, which are, usually like January, February, it's just been, sit at home and back up your hard drives and do all that. That's end of the year tasks. Make sure you cross that off your Christmas do list and get that the hell out of the way. So, but that's the plan. So I'm hoping for a big 2023.
Well, we saved the best for last. So,
well, I mean, everyone has given great advice, and it's a protocol of January. And, I'm in a very fortunate market where it's changed. January is not what it once was for weddings. I look back every once in a while like an idiot. I go back and look at former contracts. And I mean, my first real NAM was 2006. I had 7 weddings that January. So I had to do NAM, leave Saturday morning, do a wedding, come back Sunday morning. I mean, I haven't seen, 1 or 2 weddings in January now is like great. That would be like amazing.
Yeah.
I think I have 3 events in January. I'm with John on this, though. I think it's a great time to take stock in your equipment because it will be March, April, February. You'll be in the season before you know it. And you don't want to get caught off guard with, geez, I should have upgraded mics. I should have upgraded lights. I should have learned DMX. I should have checked my hard drive. I think being prepared is the big thing. But, I also agree with Bill. I just did a party for a new company, and I will hit them up in January and say, I know it's early, but, we had a great time at your party. Please, once you have an idea on the date, if you're looking to bring me back in, let me know early. I mean, going back in time, 2000, let's say 3 to 8, you would book 6 or 7 parties in January for December. When you were doing 12 to 19 parties in December, when December was just a blowout before the kind of recession / drunk driving / all those issues came up.
Right.
So, I think now is the time also. One of the things I'm going to start doing is reaching out to my 2022 couples and just say, you know what? I had an amazing time at your wedding. You've now made it through major holidays, your first married Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hope everything is okay. Just want to let you know, as a former client, I'm offering a $100 gift card to the store of your choice if you send me a client or a friend or anybody who decides they would like to talk to me and books me to do their event as a thank you for you taking the time out of your day to recommend me. Now, somebody said that's a lot of money. Well, let's say I get 50 clients.
Yeah.
And I have to pay out $5,000. Okay. That means I took in $85,000. I don't know about you guys, but if you give me the option to give you $5,000 to get $85,000, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd do that all day. Yeah, all day. I would pay $5,000 because to me that's marketing money.
It is. It's $80,000 net.
Against 5. So some people look at that and say, "Oh, that's not really the way it should go." Well, no, the way it shouldn't go is you shouldn't give a wedding coordinator at a venue a kickback every time she books you or recommends you.
Right.
And that goes on, from what I understand, in most cities, including mine. I don't pay anybody for that. If somebody said to me, hey, I work at a busy wedding venue and I want X amount of money for every wedding, it would be a very simple proposal. 3 weddings a week, give me $2,000 a wedding. What do you need? I want $200. Okay. I'll give you the money. Here's $30,000. And I'm looking at making $300,000. I'm good with that. Again, are we talking about the business or being a DJ?
Right.
I just want to DJ the event. Sometimes getting in the door isn't always the thing that you really want to worry about, but it's part of the protocol today. Plus, getting out on social media. Most of us have a Twitch account. Most of us have Instagram. I have TikTok. I'm doing this. You guys are doing Facebook. You're doing that. Make yourself visible. Do a special like Mikey was saying. Come up and just go on social media and say, hey, I'm offering a January wedding special for the rest of the year. If you book by the end of January, it's a 6-hour DJ with lights, with a photo booth, normally $2,500. I'm offering it for $1,825 till the end of the month. And you just do yourself a favor. Make sure you're not undercutting clients that have already booked you.
Yes.
Because they have every right to see you and follow you on social media, and they'll be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So just offer a deal like a Black Friday version in January or something. Or the other trick you can do real quick, and I don't want to take the show, but if you're not doing a wedding show, when Buddy does one, I'm actually doing one for a company in January too. On Monday after the wedding show, if you don't go to the wedding show and you don't have a booth, go on social media and say, hey, did you attend the big Acme wedding show yesterday? If you did, please mention it when you contact me for a 7% savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I say this to everybody at trade shows. After a NAMM show, after a Mobile Beat, after DJ Expo, call a dealer and say, hey, I just went to DJ Expo. Are you offering any DJ Expo after show sale prices? They'd be a fool not to say, yes, we are. We're offering 10% off. Great, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Right. Now, something I read today, Lou Paris had put up a post about social media and how volatile it is and how unknown it's going to be next year. And he said there's no return on investment, but you can still put stuff out there for people to see. But buying like Facebook ads is kind of like a waste of money, pretty much. And I agree.
Yeah.
Because what I do, which has been mentioned here, I wait a week after New Year's and I contact my past clients, like you had suggested, Jay, and offer discounts, and I have, I call my annuals where I do these company picnics and parties and so forth and say, hey, I lead with a compliment like Eric was so eloquent with earlier in the show. And like, I had a wonderful time with you folks. You were so easy to work with. I hope you would consider me for your summer party. And invariably, I would wind up booking the summer for afternoons, which is noon until 4 hours. And that was a tasty amount of money. And then I still had nights open, and that is what's always worked for me. And then just the fact that we've been around so long, people will recommend us and already know us. Everybody knows by now that I'm going up for 2 weeks to Lake Placid in January to work for Eric, who's not here tonight, for his Good Guy Productions. And we're going to do the ceremonies for the Empire State Games, which is 600 universities from all around the world. And they're going to go up, 3 people, they get their medals on the little podium thing, and then boom, what does that take? 20 minutes, half hour at the most. And then the band comes on stage. I'll be doing the lighting. We'll have camera work, sound, of course. And we do that until 9 o'clock at night. 12 straight days. And I think what I'm getting at is basically networking. You network with people and they get to know what your capabilities are and your skill level. And that's the only reason I got the gig. I'm just so freaking old that you can't help but know me. It's just how it is, I mean.
Well, you were on that event last year with them.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I did 2 events up there. One was the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it was the do or die. There was no, gold, silver, and bronze. The winner went to Beijing, in all the different, winter sports. And that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
I think if you're in the position you're in, Howie, it's a little different. And I just want to throw a little caution out there, a little caveat to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If another company brings you to a project, you work for that company.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Don't get all your business card. I'm an indie.
Nope.
No. Hey, I'd love to hire you for my daughter's wedding. Great. I'm here with TMB Productions. Talk to Buddy.
Right.
Yep. The guy who doesn't.
They can tell Buddy they want to hire Jay, and he'll register me. But I've gotten burned, and I've seen people get burned on. Oh, here's my card, and it's like, you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
And it'll put a stink on you through the whole industry.
Oh yeah.
So I always mention, Eric by name and the name of his company, Good Guy Productions, that I'm working for him. I'm very, but the silver lining of that is like, they're like, wow, you're doing that in Olympics, but Eric gets credit too, because he's tagged in it.
Right.
And then they see that, oh, Eric's doing this. He's going to get more big, larger events, with the production company. And who's he going to call?
But that's the whole thing. Like, it's in your best interest. Yeah. I do a lot of these events where I come in and say, hey, check out this event I did last night. But I'm very upfront about, I got hired through another company. Mm-hmm. I'm very low key about a lot of tagging, because I don't want people to think I'm trying to take credit if somebody else sends me. Right. And the majority of other gigs I do, I don't video, just because I want it to be on the back door. I only want the client happy, who then says, yeah, that party we did last summer, we want the same guy. Because I know the clients that hired me will make sure it's me. They won't go, oh, we've got another guy. And the same thing, I've worked for companies that I've killed it. And then the next year they're available and I'm available, and they step in, and I've heard, oh yeah, we heard, it's too bad you weren't available for our party. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, our party was last Saturday. I'm like, oh, I was available. Oh, Jimmy, the DJ that brought you in last year, said you weren't, so he did it. I'm like, oh, because Jimmy's the scumbag. Yeah, I'll never work for him again. Sorry. Here's my card if you want to hire me in the future.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I always give credit to the company that books the event.
Yes, and I do.
And it goes both ways, because if you did a great job for them, a bang-up job, XYZ Promotions or whatever is going to get the credit for having a great DJ.
Yeah, it will only help.
Phone keeps ringing and they're asking for you by name, then you'll get asked back for sure.
Well, who's it? Mike Walter said.
Get the show.
Mike Walter said, when running a multi-op, which, he's the master of all that, he's got a policy with his DJs. If they get a review on Monday or a call in on Monday with their name mentioned, he gives them like $100.
Whoa.
Like if Monday morning, hey, I was at a wedding on Saturday and there was a guy named John who was the DJ. I want to see if he's available for our date. Bang, John gets the date and $100. Because it all goes through his money, and that's one of the ways he keeps good talent. By incentivizing them to say,
for one of my DJs I hired a couple years ago to come back to do the first party since COVID, and they said, hey, that guy that you had here before, we want him back. So I upped his rate. I gave him more money for the event. I said, here,
there you go.
Here's the majority of the gig. You did a great job. They want you back. I'll get it for the contract and the insurance and all the paperwork. I'll take this. You're going to get almost all of it, because they're going to request you back and they're still going to use my company. I don't mind.
Well, and you know what? We've touched on something that I think pertains to the exact topic we started with, which is, what are you doing in January? Maybe in January, you're talking to DJ companies in your market and taking the owners out for a cup of coffee on a Wednesday where they're not booked or busy, and just saying, hey, I did 60 weddings last year. I've had my own company for this long. Just want to see if you have any things that you need last minute. Here's a rough estimate of what I'm booked, and figure out on your calendar, hey, I've got a lot of openings in February and March right now. Oh, you know what? I'm doing a lot of school events. Hey, I'm good with school events. I'm your man. Because that's the other thing. January, February, March out here are winter formals. I don't know. I would assume your markets are probably the same thing. Yes. So I'm getting calls on winter formals. It's not my biggest strong suit. I can do them, but it's like anything else. It's a lot of work. You're talking 500 to 2,000 kids in a gym.
Right.
And it's lighting and sound, and they'll pay you. They'll give you $5 to $10 grand, but you have to deliver $5 to $10 grand. You can't show up alone in a Jeep Grand Cherokee with a few speakers and go, ta-da, here I am. That's not going to cut it.
No. That's the DMX program light show.
Well, but that's it. So
Bass boss coming in, and
Well, exactly. But that's, there are people that specialize. Chicago, there's a company out of Chicago. I can't remember the name, but they like own the high school market, and they're doing $20,000 to $50,000 a gig with full truss and big sound. So, don't look at January, February, March as I'm not busy. Look at it as here's my chance to get busier. What do I want to do? I want to do weddings. Call the biggest wedding companies. Go take the local coordinators out for a cup of coffee. Go buy a bunch of $5 Starbucks cards and just go in and meet somebody and hand them a Starbucks card and your business card and say, I know how hectic it is this time of year for you. Go have a drink on me. And if I can help you out, here's a flyer, here's a business card, here's whatever. Let me know. And then just keep the follow-up. But I have to say, stay active on social. I disagree with Lou Paris on this. You know what? Young people judge us on the numbers of followers we have, the numbers of posts we have.
Yeah.
I work with Pioneer DJ closely on social media. I'm just telling you, if you come to me and say, I want to get with that company, what do I have to do? The first thing I judge you by is your numbers. And if you come in with 1,000 followers, I'm sorry, you're not moving the needle. You come in with 1 million, 500,000, 50,000, 100,000. That means you've at least established something of a following. And young people think that way. So unless you want to turn that crowd away, start posting. Post 2 or 3 things a day, every day for a month or two, and see what the reaction is. See if you can get traction.
I would also add, from a networking standpoint, Jay, kind of like you were saying, get out and meet, other vendors in the aspect of the business you want to be in, wedding business specific, for me too. Prior to COVID, another thing that was big were networking groups. In Baltimore, the group was called NACE, National Association of Catering Administrators.
We have that out here. That's in a lot of big cities.
ISIS is another one, but now it's not ISIS. It's
okay. Yeah, we're not. This is not about terrorism, Bill. I don't care about your Middle Eastern views, buddy. This whole Taliban thing you're always trying to sell. Let's just put a plug in that one, Bill.
Thanks, guys. It's been great. We're all fired.
No, that was their name. They had a booth. They had a thing in our mall. I know. ISIS, and I'm like, when are they going to wake up? Like
that was an archery episode. They had to take the sign down, and it gets walked off. And he's like, "We're not going to say anything about that." He's like, "Not a word." We're going to rename the agency.
I started, group.
Bill. Each of us is in a market. Bill, just take your market. I did this a couple of years ago. I just put up a Facebook post and said, any DJs in the Inland Empire, Temecula area want to meet for a drink one night. And I had like 20 DJs hit me up. And I'm like, great. Here's the bar about 10 miles from my house on a Monday. Does this work for you guys? And it was like 2 of us could meet. Then how about a Tuesday? Well, what about next Monday? And we finally worked it out. And it was a lot of work maybe, but it at least got us together. And if you're sitting next to a DJ, it's the inevitable, hey, by the way, are you available on July 7th? It's a really busy Friday for me. Let me check. Yeah, I'm open. Great. Let me send you a wedding. Okay, if you send it direct, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a taste of it. Or do you want to book it and then hire me? I need this much money. Because let's face it, I don't know about you guys, but I've worked for less than my fee.
Group here just for that. And I got about 36 DJs in it. So we always hit on there. And there's a few guys that have been on this show before that are in that group.
Yeah, but you've got to worry about getting dogs that can pull the sled to meet you guys. That's not as convenient as what in America we're talking about.
I can't
dig out the venue.
Buddy can fit 75 DJs in one of his Mercedes Sprinters. That's mean, he's in an entirely different level.
White Claw bar.
Well, that's, if the White Claw bar goes next to his Hershey bar, now the number drops to 30. But if we could take those 2 elements out, we could probably get, you should do a TikTok with that, buddy, where it starts like this. And then as we hand it to you, it's just the little fun size one that goes in your hand.
Yeah. Jay, what was bigger, the prime rib or a Buddy's Hershey bar?
You know what? I think the prime was actually, because unless that weighs over 5 pounds.
1 pound.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, 1 pound. That's good size.
Yeah,
as long as it has almonds in it, I'm good.
and it's worked out really well.
And here's the other
guys that have posted on there. Hey, I need a guy to cover. My DJ called in sick. Is there anybody open right now? And it hits 36 DJs all at once. So I think it's been pretty helpful.
No, that's a huge thing. And put in the comments, put what you guys are doing during the downtime. Like, is it cleaning gear? Is it educating yourself? Is it watching videos? Is it whatever? Just because I think communally we can learn from this, because it is that time you want to get up January 1st and just get ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And really be prepared.
Yeah.
Because this year I did over 63 weddings.
Good for you.
That's great.
Went by like that. I mean, it literally, I remember sitting in this context pretty much a year ago going, yeah, I think 2022 is going to be good. And once April hit, it just burned.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So busy.
No time for maintenance or maintaining.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I did 20 weddings in April.
Nice.
So that tells you just the start of the year was quiet. And then bang. And just a side note, I'm working on my birthday in March for a repeat client. It's a Sunday. My birthday's not that big of a deal anymore.
Right.
And it was one of these,
like 40, Jay.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I'm hitting the big 40.
I never thought twice about it. I've worked on my birthday many times.
I've done 5 weddings on my birthday, and they all found out.
Yeah,
because I told them, like, I'm not stupid. Because that's your ace in the hole. It's like, if it starts to go south, if you tell them ahead of time, even if you screw stuff up, they can at least say, what was his birthday? We really can't say anything, you know?
Yeah. No.
But when the client contacted me, I went to my wife and I said, hey, I've got a hit for my birthday. She's like, what day of the week is it? I'm like, Sunday. She goes, I'll probably have to work the next day. Yeah, take the gig. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice to know there was no big plans.
I mean, you're right, though. At our age, it's like, it's just a day. We can have our birthday the day before, the day after. It's no big deal.
Yeah. I will probably be in Vegas and drive home that day because my oldest son turns 21 on Friday. And then I turn
42
on Sunday.
41.
So we would we're contemplating going to Vegas Friday, partying with him Friday, Saturday, and then dragging me home Sunday to go do this other event. So more info than anyone needed, but there you go.
We have a local DJ around here. He's for his Facebook page. He's fixated on his likes on his Facebook page, so he runs an ad on there. You get people to like my page, and he has it's just like a little game thing that he plays that. John, you get 50 people like my page, but Jay, you get 51. Well, you're the winner, and you want to book me, you get 10% off or whatever. You get a free photo, not a photo booth, a selfie booth for your wedding. So it's good. But after the people get to know him, like especially the venues that he worked at and I worked at together, the venue managers basically hate him because he's just very ignorant and belligerent. So it's like, and you look at his post, like people, the reaction to him, he'll leave all his positive comments up there, and anything that's negative, boom, he deletes them within the first 2 minutes. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
You guys all know your markets better than we do.
Yeah,
it's great that Howie does this topic to set us up for success, but take it as a door opener of, okay, I'm here in Bill's market, and I know the seasons. I know what people are into. I know what's big in January. Maybe January is when they book photographers. So maybe Bill starts booking some headshots with different photographers, or starts taking old photographers out for drinks, or what. Just, this isn't definitive. This is, take this as your kickstart for the year from Howie.
Yeah. No, actually, my posse.
There you go. The Hanging with Howie posse.
Yeah. Make a resolution. There you go.
There you go.
I want to thank all of you for the great comments tonight. It was a really, really good show. And as always, when this goes live, sort of live, but the replay rather, that's restreamed everywhere, leave comments for us if you have a topic you would like us to cover, and we'll be happy to accommodate you. Until then, we'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.